And yes, it's almost that time of the week where people are going to start predicting, start losing their minds, placing their bets, and deciding who is going to win this weekend in the Premier League. Aston Villa host Manchester United for the first ever Friday night Premier League game, kick off at 7:45 at Villa Park. I'm sure the Holte End will be rocking. Now, I think it's going to be a close game, but Manchester United have a very good history and record at Villa Park, so I'm going to go with a 2-1 victory to Manchester United, just with a late winner. Southampton host Everton. With the Saints' formidable form last season and the way they started this season, albeit it was a draw at Newcastle, I fancy the Saints to win this 2-1. Tottenham Hotspur host Stoke, or as they are now known as Stoke Alona, with their recent spite of ex-Barcelona players. I fancy this to be a draw. I'm going with a 2-2 draw with Harry Kane getting the brace. However, the Mackems host the Canaries. Sunderland and Norwich. Don't think it's going to be a classic. I could probably see Lee Cattlemore getting sent off. I'm going for a drab 0-0 draw. Both defences coming out on top. Swansea host Newcastle United, and I think they will be out to get 3 points. They were really unfortunate against Chelsea, in my opinion. They should have taken all 3 points. But on the other side, Newcastle played really well against Southampton. So I think it's going to be a good game, but unfortunately I think the Toon Army will fall short. I think the Swans will be victorious by 2-0. 2 goals from Gomez. Elton John's Watford host West Bromwich Albion. I'm going to go with a home win here, 3-0 to Watford. I was really disappointed with the way Tony Pulis set up against Man City. They were at 6s and 7s at the back, so I just expect them to lose this on the road, to be honest. So 3-0 Watford. West Ham United host Leicester City, the two form teams in the league. Who would have thought West Ham would beat Arsenal, and who would have thought Leicester would have battered Sunderland? I didn't predict that, so props to the both of them. I think this is going to be a cagey 0-0 draw, to be honest with you. I think they've peaked too soon, both teams. Both are kind of looking for more Premiership survival, and they'll do everything to set up shop to get a draw, in my opinion. So I'm going with a drab 0-0 draw. Crystal Palace and Arsenal. This is going to be probably one of the shocks of the week, in my opinion. Well, to be honest with you, you can't really call it a shock because Crystal Palace are going places with Alan Pardew, to be honest. I think Palace are going to win this 2-0. I think they're going to do exactly what West Ham did. They're going to sit, they're going to soak up, they're going to sucker punch them. They have lots of pace with Zaha, Bolasie, and with the addition of Kabay, he's going to dictate midfield whenever they get possession, because Arsenal will have the lion's share of possession. But I think the Arsenal are going to fall short again, and there's going to be more questions being asked about Arsene Wenger and his lack of ambition, especially when it comes to signing classy midfielders, or should I say holding midfielders that they're desperate for, and a world-class striker. It's the big one. Man City versus Chelsea, the biggest game of the season thus far. Pellegrini versus Mourinho. It's going to be fireworks. No, not really. To be honest with you, I can see Jose Mourinho parking the bus as he usually does. Tactically solid. He'll probably start Kurt Zouma alongside Matic, in my opinion. And he'll, try to hit City on the counter. Now, Man City were phenomenal against West Brom. I know West Brom had lots of injuries to their defenders, but David Silva, boy, is that guy unbelievable. He's, in my opinion, probably the best Premier League playmaker, without a shadow of a doubt. I think Chelsea's game plan is going to be to frustrate Man City. Let's just hope Man City maybe get an early goal so they can entice Chelsea out to play their own game. But to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win to Man City, and I think it's going to be that Spanish magician David Silva scoring the winner. So 1-0 to Man City. Finally, the newcomers Bournemouth travel up to Anfield to face Liverpool, fresh off their lucky 1-0 win, with Coutinho scoring that magnificent goal, might I add. Great goal it was, but they were very, very fortunate. I think this is going to be an easy win for Liverpool. I'm going with 3-0, and I'm going to go with Skirtle to score and 2 from Benteke. 3-0 to the mighty Liverpool, or not so mighty, depending on who you support. There you have it, my friends. Let me know what you think. Get your comments in below. Shoot me a tweet. Shoot me an email. Send a flying pigeon if you like, you know. Whatever floats your boat, as I say. You probably will disagree with some of my predictions, but that's my predictions for this week. Please do me a favour. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube channel and spread the love. Peace.